Welcome to the Buy Box Bandits podcast.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Buy Box Bandits podcast, here for episode 7. Got a great guest here, back with the boys. Once again, coming to you guys remote, but I'm not here for another good episode. Today, we have our man, CODY'S Amazon, Cody McCarson. He is reselling extraordinaire. He's a family man, part-time NFT degen, overall very good guy, full-time Amazon seller. As of the past few years, we're excited to dive into a little bit of his story today. We got some great questions from Instagram as well, so excited to get Cody on the air today. Cody, how you doing today, my man?
Man, I'm great. That was a good introduction.
I was gonna say, did you plan that? That was impressive.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't have confidence in me. I was like, I got this, guys.
Nah, he definitely scripted that. He 1000% scripted that today.
I wanted to have it ahead of time, good, but I didn't script it. No, I had it off the dome.
Awesome.
It's a big,
awesome. So we'll get right into it.
Big episode.
Big episode
This
indeed.
is the
Yeah.
First guest on the Buy Box Bandits podcast.
So the best one so
God,
far, the number one guest.
Guest.
Undoubtedly, yeah, overwhelmingly. But yeah, Cody, so you're a full-time reseller now. How did all of this start for you? We all know fragments of your story, but I'm excited for our viewers to learn how you went from a few years in the corporate world, raising your family like you do today, to shifting over to being a full-time reseller, specifically through Amazon these days. So if you want to take us back to the start and just walk us through kind of the whole process, we got a lot of time here. We'd love to hear about your story and everything. So just take us back to square one, and how did you get into all this?
Yeah, and maybe even what you were doing before too. Like, what was your day job before?
Okay,
and
sure.
how
So this is like a Joe Rogan type podcast. We're just gonna chat for a while.
Yeah. Pretty
Okay.
much.
Go for it.
Yeah. I'll go quick with the boring stuff. So I'm just here to try to learn how to buy box bandit like Garrett does. I want to
Oh yeah.
from all these
Up
other
to the
boulders
bandits.
and different people. I want to take the hot stuff. So okay, so I started reselling like super on the side in 2017. Gary Vaynerchuk, Gary V did the flip challenge. If you look back at my Instagram, like all the way back, you can see where I kind of went. I knew I wanted to put content out because I was listening to a ton of Gary V, and he's like, just share your life, just document, talk about yourself. There are some of his videos I listened to probably legitimately 30 or 40 times, like hour-long clips that I would just,
My favorite is that Monday clip about Monday. where he's in New York
That's
City.
fine. The
That
white
is
T-shirt. Yeah,
iconic.
the white T-shirt.
What
Yep.
does he
All right,
say
sorry,
on it? What
continue.
does he say about it?
I
You
will
should-
show you later.
Yeah, you need to watch. I went through this whole. I mean, like he completely transformed the way I thought about life. And what's funny, the job that I ultimately left, is the owner of that business is the one who introduced me to Gary Vee, which is funny. But anyways, and he wasn't happy about me leaving. But the challenge was something like sell $20,000 worth of stuff in the year 2017 or so. I don't remember exactly. I need to look that up. But I went for it, and I didn't make it. I think we sold like 7,000 or 8,000 our first year.
Still though, not a bad first month for something, or first year for something part-time. And what platforms was that on?
That was mainly local, and then we got into eBay. That's when we transitioned from local to eBay, and then I kind of just have an itch when I have something I'm trying to do. Like I'll just kind of maybe even push too hard sometimes.
That's how Danny is. Danny's told us about that.
Yep.
Yeah, just like dive into things head first.
Yep.
And kind
I
of
could
figure it
totally
out
see
as you
that,
go. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's almost a character flaw, right? Like it's almost like something's wrong with me, which
it's good and bad, I think.
Yep.
You just kind of learn to like roll with things, but yeah, sometimes I get in over my head.
Channel it. Yeah.
You'll learn yourself. We found a source that was doing 7-foot Amazon return pallets, so like these giant just random Amazon returns, and we did one, and we made like a lot of, at the time it was a lot of money to us, but we made a lot on it, and so we did I think it was 14 or 17 more back to back, and we were just selling the stuff back on eBay and Facebook and just like blowing it up.
Out of your garage, or where were you storing everything?
Super out of my garage. Like these things, we were literally bringing them in, breaking them down at night after work. And I have memories like my kitchen all the way through it, just being like stacks of crap everywhere. Of just like, and I'm sure everybody has memories like that. But that was like the moment where I realized, oh crap, like I could do this. Like I'm making enough money where I could tell the man to go away. And And so then there was a couple things from that same source that we were able to sell on Amazon for like a lot more. And so we started doing that super against TOS. Like it was like it was definitely not new. And we like some of it looking back, like I would never touch now. But
Yeah.
we got lucky and scathed by somehow. And then we went from there to doing a lot of books. I remember one day I was at a flea market and I had bought like it was like eye level high stack of used books. And I was so excited. I came to my wife and I said, we're going to be like rich. Like we're going to like, I found these books and we're going to be like, they're like scanning for like $30 a piece. We're going to be rich. And so I bought those. And then, the rest is kind of history. I got involved with a group that was doing a close friends, and they found an eye gel that was you could buy for $9 and it was selling for like $50, and it would sell as soon as you picked it up. And that was my first bolo, quote unquote. We went to every freaking Walgreens and Publix and everywhere that carried that.
Publix, that's literally that's the grocery store my grandma shops at.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, there's one near me.
Nope. And we were making money hand over fist. Like I look back, like I've only had 6 or 7 things like that were so amazing, but that changed our life because we were able to really put some money into the business. And I have a picture somewhere of these eye drops or eye gel. I forget what it was, Gentile something or another, but I had them like 4 out, like a flex picture, and I had it like stacked up like above my head, and it was so many, and I was shipping them in a stupid way. I have no idea how they actually got to the customer, but I made a lot of mistakes. But we kind of went for it, and from there we did a lot of books for a while, and then I initially left my job to help start another insurance agency. I was working for State Farm as just like a service monkey, like just like front of the team. And then I went and partnered and started a farmer's insurance, and there was an exit there, and we sold. And then instead of going and looking for the next thing, I was just kind of like, well, I'm gonna just resell and work for myself. I've got 5 kids, and I like my kids, and my wife and I
He says he likes his kids.
Yeah, good to know.
Hey, some people don't, but
Yeah.
I wanted to be able to spend more time with my family, and we were doing a lot of trips at the time. And so we're going on almost 2 years of
yeah, I was gonna ask for the timeline.
Yeah, and to kind of give it some perspective for the viewers, from that point where you did that Gary Vee challenge to that kind of eye-opening moment where you were like, oh, I can potentially do this full time. What kind of time span are we talking?
I guess it would be over. First year was nothing really. Second year, I think we did 20 or something like that. Like we were close to the goal for our first year. And then 2019 would be our first 6-figure year, and then 2020 was what it was, and then 2021. So we've done over 6 figures a year since 2019. Before that, we were like super part-time.
Yeah, so we're talking about the span of a couple years where kind of that realization finally kicked in.
Yeah, I see it a lot with people that I've helped before. Like the cogs kind of connected for us. Like at some point we're like, oh, if we do A, then B will happen. If we do X, Y, and we were able to fund it. We finally were we didn't take any money from the business for like a long time, and that capital snowballs. Like Miles talks about it on his Instagram. It's like month over month, 30-40%. Like that.
It's just insanity when you like look at it. And obviously, there's like fees that come in, but assuming it was a perfect world and everything just snowballed, it's crazy what like even 25% can do, monthly or 3 weeks, 5 weeks, whatever across a year. And so you're currently doing OA and RA, right? Online and retail arbitrage.
Yep, 0 wholesale, just OA, RA. We do some thrifting. We have an eBay, and then we're doing some books too.
Mm-hmm. But the majority being just arbitrage, whether it be from retail stores or retail websites.
Yeah, the last 6 months we're closer to 60% OA, 40% RA.
Good. And I know that's been a focus for you, right?
Yeah, we want to be more OA.
Yeah. How has that transition been going from RA to OA? What would you say the biggest hardships of it are so far?
Yeah, so RA is good because for a long time, we had payability, and so we were literally like we're paying out the nose for them. But what it was, we were able to be a lot bigger than we actually were, because there were days where we would go and shop, everything would sell that day. As long as you ship it the same day, you get paid on it the next day through them, and then we just lather and repeat that like over and over and over again. And so that's how we kind of grew from the like whatever year it was, we like quadrupled the year before, because we figured out capital. But I would say the biggest challenge is just arbitrage is competitive as crap, and and so I've told Garrett this before, we didn't use Keepa until like less than a year ago or something.
That is ridiculously impressive. You're able to do what you're able to do without
Yeah,
Keepa.
how'd you do it? Just sales rank?
Just kind of we were just kind of guessing. We would do good with test orders, but I remember having conversations where it's like, I'm just gonna get one of these and just see what happens. like we'll just put one for sale and see how fast it sells.
That's sometimes the best way. The keep is not always accurate. It shows most of the story, but not the whole thing. So it's definitely a good way. I want to touch back to the payability real quick, because I think some people who are watching this might want to or consider using it. And I know for me, my experience with payability was amazing the first time. The first payout was great. After that, for me, I didn't like it as much, just because of how much it really truly cost in fees. I'm just curious if that's how it was for you, because I know you said you were paying out the nose, but
payability is good for the right person. I don't suggest it for higher volume sellers. It's tough. I think they give capital away more easily than everybody else does. So that's a good thing, but it's also a bad thing. I have a friend who used payability and got deeply in debt, and like it didn't help his business at all because he didn't use it the right way. So and the other thing is their fees are, I don't want to say dishonest, because I'm technically an affiliate for them, but like they say it's 1% or 2% or whatever, but if it sits for it's double that sometimes. So like you're literally paying double what you think you're paying.
I had the same exact experience. I thought the fees weren't disclosed as properly as they should have, and it just kind of compounds. And I was close to that debt situation, but I was able to get out of it. But like it was good that first one, because they give you that lump sum, but after that you really see how much they're taking off the top, and it's crazy.
If somebody doesn't have any money and they're starting at like 5 or 10K a month and they want to go to 100, you just got to have capital, and you're probably going to overpay it. So overpay for it, and that's what we did. And it we were smart with it, but it can be dangerous. I mean,
that's the thing about it.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, that's the thing about an inventory-based business, right? When you start to scale, that's where the discrepancies lie, right? If your business is consistent, you have money flowing in, you have money flowing out, everything's cool, right? But then once you start 2xing, 3xing your revenue, then that money's got to come from somewhere, especially being that we all purchase on capital or credit.
Yeah. There's going to be walls and everything. Like, I think payability can kind of help you climb over that wall. I mean, eventually you're going to hit credit card limits and you want to keep going, but you can't, just because you're just not able to purchase more inventory. So there's always walls in this business that you have to overcome.
And same thing goes for finding stuff to purchase too.
Yeah,
I think definitely you always got to be. Cody, you talk a lot about, you're a big subscriber of a ton of leads groups, a ton of just groups in general, because you want to just get exposure to as much stuff as possible, kind of, tap in as many people's, I don't want to say brains, but like sourcing catalogs of stuff they're making available. And so that shows that like clearly you're interested in investing and finding these different things, and it's paying off definitely.
Yeah, I mean, Cody's mantra is, as long as the Discord group is making you money, to stick with it.
How has been your experience with the Discord groups and the paid leads list? Or paying for leads, I mean.
Yeah, the very first one that I was a part of, with the one that had like all the drama that happened, they it was just a close friends, and it was just some guy like the one that I do now. It's just some guy that's just talking every day. Hey, I'm at Walmart and I stand there and it's profitable.
That's exactly, yeah. Our Bolo group isn't close friends anymore. It's Discord now, right?
It's both. So like if I look at my phone, I probably put like 15 or 20 things on my story today. They're just close friends.
Lit.
But
It's so lit. Yeah.
it's
I remember literally like right when we met, I was on it and I was just seeing everything. It's literally like you like, and how many people are on it? Like under 100, right?
we have 99 members. So we
exactly. And it's just a close friends of this man going in like buy this, just taking care of people. It's pretty awesome. But yeah, so who were you taking inspiration from when you were getting started learning the Amazon part of things? Because obviously Gary Vee helped you get into it, but
Right.
who actually showed you like the tactical, like this is how you do it stuff?
Yeah, I think of people like on YouTube. I learned a lot from just kind of hunting and pecking on YouTube, and then Instagram. Shout out to Insane FBA Hustle. I paid him in the beginning for consulting, and then like I've paid 2 people for consulting this month. I love to pay people for consulting. It's like my favorite thing to do. Insane FBA Hustle. There's other people that I kind of did the same thing with in the beginning, but it was kind of, I remember messaging just strangers and just being like, hey, I should go back and frame those because like it would be funny now.
Yeah.
There was a group that I was in on Facebook called Entrepreneur, Super Entrepreneur or something, kind of cringy like that. And there was a guy that said he sold an so I just like was DMing this guy every day. I remember sitting on my first FBA shipment and like it sat there for like 3 weeks because I was terrified to send it in because I was like, there's no, I don't know what to do, and I was like cold messaging, like I probably went back and forth with this guy like a bunch, like over weeks trying to get that first.
It is interesting to hear you say just message strangers. I mean, now that I think, dude, I message strangers every single day, like multiple, and strangers message me. It's interesting to think about it that way. Now that you're way more like, in the community and everything, I'm sure it doesn't feel like actual strangers because like they're doing the same. But it is interesting to hear, like you said, because it is true. I mean, definitely. But that's the beauty of social media in general. We probably met, last April, May or so, something like that. And I saw you were putting stuff out, and I immediately, I think like the week we met, I added you to our group chat, which is what these guys are in. We all kind of formed that little nucleus. It was pretty cool. Yeah.
And then we
so
got
I appreciate all you put out. And we met in person in August.
That was fun. Me and Cody went up on the
that was
together. That was
why did you go up, Danny? That's
absolutely terrifying.
How did that happen? How did that happen?
Garrett made us go up. I think Cody wanted to. I did not want to.
Yeah, Cody wanted to.
So
yeah.
for people that
did not.
One with Amazon lit. He was there just sitting up there. I was like, I want this guy to see my face. Like, like I want to know this guy.
So for the people that don't know, this was I think, what was it called? Just Amazon Seller Conference?
No, Miami 2021. It was somehow
Miami,
the domain
Miami
was
2021, ran by Taylor Jones and Romer the Romer.
Future guests of the podcast.
And they had this thing called hot seats. And basically, seller goes up, sits in front of the panel, which was Amazon lit. I don't want to butcher the names, but there's a bunch of really
Book
successful
Flipper.
sellers.
Yeah.
Awesome big time guys. And then Taylor.
And they would just analyze your business. And I did not want to go up at all. And Garrett pointed to me and made me go up. And then Cody, Cody and I went up together.
Yeah,
that was good.
That was actually, that helped. That helped not being up there alone.
Yeah, so I have something I want to hear from Cody that I think will benefit a lot of people that are more in the starting process. What are some of the big mistakes you made as you were going the past couple of years, and what are the big things you would do differently? Which fairly similar question, but what would you do differently if you could go through the past few years? Like what maybe would have gotten you from it being a total side thing new to you to full-time quicker? Could you do it over again, knowing what you know now?
Yeah, I would say just capital. Like then looking back, I always knew what to buy, and like every moment of every day, it's like in my brain. Like I know, like there's like hundreds of things that if if I had more capital, I could do. Even today, like capital is it's so important. So I think early on, 2 things tactically I probably would have done. I would have figured out how to get capital sooner because like money is everywhere. everybody is willing, like you can find hard, like I don't know if it's called, is it hard money or
Hard.
soft money?
I think it is called
money,
hard
yeah.
money.
I don't know
Yeah.
which money it is. Both of them probably. But like you can get money everywhere. So I think I would have figured out capital sooner. And then the other thing I think I would have done is come up. I would have like I know you guys were saying on one episode, like you guys profiting, like all of you are profiting more than me. I still haven't hit six figures as far as what I'm paying myself. But I would go to some heavy hitter RA OA guy, maybe like some that come to mind, the reselling teacher.
Oh, good dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a good
You
dude.
need to get that guy's a freaking genius. Like he's like, and by the way, a lot of these guys that are hardly on social media or super quiet, they're like selling like ridiculous stuff, and they're
Oh
just
yeah.
they're not into the personal brand thing, which is
That's cool. Yeah, definitely.
But I would approach one of those guys and I would say, I'll give you 5% of everything I sell, or maybe all of my payouts or something like that. But I want your play by play. Every time you put an effing order on the screen and hit buy, I want a picture of it. And I would give, I think that's something I would do. Because if you have
That's
the
interesting.
capital, I think that's the only way to automate. Like I think that's I don't think whoa, sorry, Danny. Maybe another-
True. Yeah,
maybe
that is
another way
that
to
is a testy word around these parts.
But I think it's a clever way to do it, because
Definitely.
if there's trust between those two people, I think you could blow somebody up if they had capital. I think that's what I would do. So it was kind of a long answer.
Definitely. Are you like what ways today, or how were you or how are you actively searching for more capital right now? Or if you are,
well,
credit cards, lines of credit, loans, what?
yeah, we've been slowly and methodically increasing our line of credit, just credit cards.
Okay.
So we've got we didn't apply for the Amex Gold when we got that, because we got the invitation, but we had just
Cody.
applied for something. We had just applied for something else, and so I'm scared to do it back to back. Like I don't want to get declined, and then
Well, if you get declined, you call the reconsideration line. Worst comes to worst, that like
Yeah,
you could get declined in 6 months.
I didn't know
too,
what a
and then you'd have to wait
reconsideration
more.
line was until Miles told me about it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm hip.
that's a
That's helped me a lot.
huge
Yeah,
tip.
that helped me get 2
all working
Amexes.
on the reconsideration line if I get declined. Like, hey, I
Yeah, I'll
got
send you the.
bloody
Yeah,
mouth.
there's a whole like underground community of Reddit people like putting
You
people
should
onto
be
this
good
stuff.
though. You should be good though, as long because it goes off your business. So as long as they'll like ping your business to see if it's real, and if it's real, they'll give you somewhat of a limit, and then it just grows from there. And the Amex Gold, like the limit, like if you come close to maxing it out or max it out every month, and then once you pay it off, they almost double it like each time. At least that's what my experience was.
Nice.
Doesn't
That would be
all
nice.
of the
They're
Amex
really
Golds have the
rewarding.
soft limit?
Yeah.
What was that?
Do they only offer soft limits for their
A-
business cards?
Amex Gold and Platinum is
Platinum
is a soft
Plum, I
limit.
think. Yeah.
Plum is also a soft limit, and then the blue cards have a hard.
Yeah,
have a hard
and
limit.
for context, that means like basically like a hard limit would be like a set number they give you, and a soft limit means it's more flexible.
That's from the
But yeah,
start though.
boring stuff we don't need to talk about on here.
Yeah. So getting back to Amazon, Cody. So one of the major themes of the Instagram questions was about your RA sourcing trips, and I think that's for anyone that follows you on Instagram. That's something that I would say you're pretty renowned for, right? Taking the
Yes,
family,
definitely.
uprooting them, and just going on a trip, staying in a bunch of hotels, planning your trip, sourcing along the way, and just really making it a sort of a family vacation while working, right? And so a lot of the questions came about planning that trip. Can you talk about the audience through how those trips get created and sort of the plan you put into it?
Yeah, well, let me start with the reason why that's so fun for me. When I was a kid, like I was in the foster care system. Like I was like super like poor, and and then when I was adopted by my grandmother, she was super poor, and so like the first time, I don't want to say the first time, but like the first times I remember like even like going out to eat to like restaurants and stuff like that was like in high school, like so traveling to another state or like a water park, or like you see us go to Savannah a lot. Like there's a lot of really fun stuff to do there. It's just fun as crap to me. Like I just enjoy the heck out of it. I didn't sacrifice it. So the first time going to Disney with my kids was the first time I'd been to Disney. And so it's like, like you get kind of, so that's why that's kind of appealing to us, or to me at least. But when we were really considering reselling, part of the thing that kept us going was every weekend, we were just charging a trip to the business because it was so profitable to drive. We live in Atlanta, so we would drive down to Panama City, or we'd drive over to Birmingham, or we'd drive up north to Tennessee. There's a water park that we go to a lot there. But like if there's a hot bolo item that you're profiting $100 if you can find 5 of them, going to every store, you can justify doing a family vacation, short mini trip. So with all that said, practically what we do is we find an item, we're fishing, I spend a lot of money on bolo groups and OA and lead lists and the whole bit. We find an item that is super hot, and then we use Brickseek Extreme. We track it down, where can we find it? And that's our anchor product. I'm doing air quotes.
That's what I was gonna say. I know you have like a.
I knew, yeah,
Got
I had a
terms.
yeah.
So
yeah.
explain what an anchor product is.
And Brickseek, just for context, for people who might not be familiar.
Yeah. So retail arbitrage, you're like literally getting in your car and driving to a store. And the worst feeling is getting to the store and leaving and not finding anything.
Yeah,
That's
right.
the worst thing. So the
So
anchor
to
product,
interrupt you, how often does that happen? Sorry to interrupt you.
well, I mean, now not very often. Like I can't even really remember.
Oh yeah.
Yes, sir.
Well, and it's more so that he's better at sourcing, so there's other stuff to find, and you're more tapped in. Yeah, to multiple
He's
stuff.
just more tuned in. All right, so yeah, continue.
But if you can have an order pickup at Target and it's there, that just paid for the trip there, and it paid for your time.
Major key. I know Garrett and I do this too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, scheduling order pickups for retail arbitrage. So helpful. COVID really accelerated that. Yeah, stores making that available. Major
you just
key.
get a notification, hey, there's $30 worth of profit. You just got to come pick it up. Oh, and by the way, feel free to walk down all our aisles and see what else you can find to resell. So the anchor product, if you can get an order pickup, that's cool. But if not, Brickseek didn't have any in stock yesterday. Brickseek is like a back end thing.
It's like $30 a month or something, $50 a month. Yeah.
I
like
paid
a data aggregator. Yeah.
It keeps up with the stock in different stores. So I can type in, Magic Mixie toy, which stores have them. And then there's like 3 stores in Atlanta. And then, I'm kind of watching it. And so yesterday this store didn't have any, but today it shows they have 6+. That's a really good indicator that my anchor product is there. And so then I drive to that store and pick it up. And then, a lot of times what happens is because I'm watching the Discords and the bolo groups and the different thing, and like, just my close friend, like not my close friends, people like just my buddies that are also doing the same thing that I'm talking with, there's usually a lot of other crap there to buy. And that's how we do it. So we find that, and then we make a route of all the stores that are like that up to the water park, and the kids freaking love it because we, do a competition. They've got
the vision in mind. They got the water park in their mind.
Right, and then they get to go in and get candy at their store, or they get so it's been a good thing and I think smaller sellers that are just doing it part time, it's a good way to scale too, because you spend $200 on a night. Or something like that, and then you drive up and you get to hit. Most people that are doing RA enjoy doing RA. That like I know
that's
you guys.
True. Yeah,
RA
that is true. Now
that
I think about it, yeah,
fun. It's definitely a good time, and especially the way you're talking about, you kind of gamify it almost for your children and make a make a thing about it, which is helpful for people that are listening that may be uneasy about going into stores, especially they may feel like awkward because they're older or because they have children, but it's I mean, the money's there, gotta go and take it.
Go ahead.
One very important takeaway from what Cody said that you might have like flipped over what he said. He has friends that do the same thing. You said you have a group of buddies. Us 3 hosts, we were a similar nucleus. We sell a lot of different stuff now, but when we were starting, 6-7 months ago, or at least getting together, we were a very similar nucleus. And I think that shows 1, the power of social media, and 2, there's enough to go around, and 3, that because you and your buddies are located in different areas brought together by social media, there's enough for you to eat, and you're heavily incentivized to help each other out more because then there's you guys each find more items, share with each other, and everyone wins more. Very big point of view, or very important point that you were, I don't know how you met them, it's probably like Facebook groups or just Instagram in general, that kind of stuff, actively outbound, putting stuff out, helping people, and that brought stuff to you back. I've been doing social media every day coming on 3 years, and I feel like I put out a decent amount of stuff, and it's far outweighed by what I've gotten back by knowledge and just networking and all that. It's amazing.
Yeah.
That's Miles's favorite point
we
to make.
talk about that a lot, of having a group of friends.
So it's I think it would make it so much less enjoyable not having it.
Yeah.
Like unbelievably less, because it's so hard to find. Like, what do you tell people like in real life when they ask you what you do?
I tell them I'm in e-commerce.
That's what I say too. That's what I say too.
Like, I've been trying to get a warehouse in Miami. I finally am closing on one, but every time they ask me, I just go e-commerce.
Yeah,
it's just so.
well, the way you put it there, that just sounds sketchy.
Well, no, I'll say e-commerce because it's like I don't want to say it's annoying, but it's because people don't understand that. I'd say the majority of Amazon buyers that have Prime accounts,
no idea that they're most likely supporting a small business.
They don't understand FBA. There's a high chance it's coming from, or it was like 50-50. It's coming from a third party.
Everyone has a different percentage, but it's somewhere.
And
there.
It's being packaged by someone in their garage. Like, if people knew like the things we're in a garage, we're sweating, we're packing these things. Like, it's just crazy. But
this summer I was on vacation with a few friends, and I was printing out labels in their kitchen because I was getting home the next day and I was gonna ship their merchant field stuff. And I was like, when you buy something on Amazon, there's a good chance it's someone in their kitchen just printing out labels like this.
I did that in Disney World. I was printing out MF labels in Disney World because they would have been late if I didn't. That was funny. But getting back to that friends thing, another important thing that I know Miles has talked about from his favorite YouTuber, Mr. Beast, is when you have a close circle of friends or acquaintances doing the same thing, you're talking every day, each person is making different mistakes. So you're able to learn that much faster throughout the business because you're able to learn
each
from
person's
their mistakes
having their own successes.
and you're able to share your mistakes, and then you're able to succeed together, hopefully.
Yeah. And I think it's important to say too, it's building your personal brand and like putting out the dumb reels and the different things that I'm trying to do because I want to build, I want 1 million followers or at least one more than Miles.
Is that the goal? Is that the goal?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Miles has been growing. So, I mean,
Cody, how many followers are you at right now on Instagram?
I think I have 5,200 or 50.
Yeah. Oh, Garrett's actually gaining on you fast, dude. You got to get your game up.
No, Garrett.
And Twitter too. You've been on Twitter. You've been NFT degenning on Twitter.
Yeah, that's more just for fun though. But
I've been posting some banger reels. If anyone's following, I've been posting some bangers.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, where your clothes at? That was funny. So I think there's building your personal brand, which is a cool thing, and I'm doing it. But there's also just like networking. Like,
oh yeah, I would say they're the exact same thing. I would honestly consider them literally the exact same thing.
I think that you don't have to want to have 1 million followers to message. I have people that'll message me and say, what do you think about this or blah, blah, blah. And then I have people that I'll message. I'll just send them like just a banger, just like a crazy bolo that you can make a lot of money on. And then I'll just send the shh emoji. And what I'm saying is, hey, I want to be friends with you. I want to, let's talk. And, I was on one of these with Jameson, is it Philippi?
Something like that. Good
really like that. The Pikachu guy that went to the ASD, really like that guy. Like I can just tell, so me and him are kind of going back and forth and like, are we friends now? And he sent a couple really cool leads and I've sent him cool, so I think they're like, networking is good in any industry. Like you don't have to you can plug and play that same strategy in almost any, in the insurance world. I did the same thing, there. So
heavily regulated for that stuff.
That's what the events are all about. Like Miami 2021, like the majority purpose of that event, like at least I know when we were going, it was obviously to learn, but for the most part for me, it was really just to network, meet everyone in person, say hi, put a face behind the username. and just speak to people in person. It's very
Yeah,
powerful.
like we have a 32 man group chat. Unfortunately, Instagram only lets you do 32 people, and like 14 of them were in my it's kind of it's been going for like a year and a half. Yeah, Danny was the first member. But yeah, Cody's in it. We got a whole squad in there. But yeah, I mean, and honestly, we don't really talk too much about Amazon in there. It's mostly just like, lifestyle stuff and whatever, but
it's probably the opposite of what you'd expect.
No, but it comes up. The Amazon stuff comes up, and when it does, you have like
a lot of bright
immediately
minds.
like 10 or 15 people looking at
exactly.
it. Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, true.
Jake helped me a ton. Like just because I put out some piece of content and Miles was like, hey, this guy's kind of cool or funny or dumb or whatever you thought, and you put me in your group chat. I met Jake. Jake helped me a ton. Garrett's helped me a ton. Obviously I like you guys, but but Carter, me and Carter, have become
partnered up. Yeah.
And like it fits and it makes sense, and like I think there's a long-term benefit to both of us there. Like,
and you've never met Carter in person, I'd assume, right? We've met once, briefly for a day or two there.
I'm not sure that guy's not a robot or something.
I think Carter's the ghost of Instagram. He doesn't show up anywhere, but he's always around.
No, I think he is robot. He works like 24/7. He's always on his laptop.
Yeah. Cody, so getting back to your sourcing trips, how many hours do you think would go into putting a trip like that together in terms of accommodations, obviously developing the product base, the whole shebang?
Yeah, well, I have to give props to my wife because she's way smarter than me, and she's also like on things. So as far as like accommodations and like I probably put like an hour into it. She probably planned, probably double or triple that.
She comes up with a destination and you find the products to make it worthwhile.
Yeah. How much do you spend on like an average trip, would you say? Like really just averaged out?
Yeah, if we're not splurging, we have a 2-night rule. So we don't want to drive somewhere if we're not staying.
Oh, I meant on inventory.
We meant on inventory.
I see. Yeah. It just depends. Like
like even if it's 3,000, like, dude, if you have your credit card strategy right, you can pay for both hotel nights off like 5K
off the points you'll make.
Yes, exactly. Like it would done well, like studied, like Reddit thread studied, like blog study. You can do some serious work with the point. I've stayed like 15 nights for free, no fees, $0 this year. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I was gonna say, you have a new goal, right, to spend on your new Amex?
50 grand, baby.
So where'd you come up with that number? Was that just?
Well, because that's what they limit you to. After 50 grand, they don't give you 2% anymore. They only give you 1%.
So it's 50K across the year. Once again, another reason to go biz gold. But
if you got the gold card, I think it's 100. I think it's 150. 4 times points back up to 150.
I might be there next year. We're spending so much money now. Like sometimes I look down and I'm like, holy crap. Like no exaggeration. I spent like 4 grand yesterday. A lot of it with RA stuff, so it's good. And I've that was the shipment that I put out on my story, but like
it's exciting.
Yeah, like you see those numbers and you're like, me 2 years ago would freak the crap
out.
Oh
my god.
Dude,
2 years ago, Danny and I were thrifting books. Literally like this night 2 years ago, we were like Danny was lifeguarding and I was going to library sales.
Actually. Yeah, we talk about that a lot, how the numbers are like,
oh, you get so numb to it so quick. Like I might not hit.
Then you get used to them at the same time.
And I'm like so upset. Yeah, like.
And then if you say that to people that aren't in the Amazon space, it's like, who are you? You're doing what?
Yeah, you just gotta get numb to it. Yeah, got it.
Somebody was ragging on your business partner, Warner Fields of Profit. It was like, you didn't really make 50K.
50,000, yeah.
Like bro, like you have no idea what you're talking about. Like I actively know people who are doing like 150 like a month, and that's like their regular month. Like I know them like one-on-one, like not that crazy.
People like that just like to go on Instagram or social media in general and just
the trolls?
Yeah, we haven't had any angry people in our YouTube comments yet.
Cody, we haven't had a dislike on any of our podcasts.
Oh, you keep saying it. You're gonna jinx it. Oh, that's twice.
Don't say that.
It happened. I think we brought that up on
we last episode. I talked.
Yeah, Tuesday I think it was. Yeah. One of these times someone's gonna do it.
Oh.
But anyways, Cody, so in terms of maybe your 1 to 3 year plan, where do you see yourself taking Amazon? Or is this kind of your comfort zone, or do you want to keep growing or change business models? What's your plan for the next 3?
Yeah. We've got to a good fallback point. Like you play a video game. I don't play many video games, but like when I used to play video games, you play, and then if you die, you just go
This
back.
is your default setting.
So like
Right.
I think I could do this, like worst case, everything goes to crap. Like I could just pick up and do what I'm doing, and fall back to this. So, the big risk that we're taking right now is we're trying to figure out a way to prep. So that's where you literally buy, instead of buying from Walmart.com and having them, online arbitrage it to your house and then you send it to Amazon. You buy it from Walmart and send it to a prep center. And then they prep it and send it into Amazon for you. It's the most legitimate way to drop ship, kind of, if you think about it like that. Like you never touch the product.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
or not the most legitimate, but the most terms of service with Amazon friendly.
So I guess you could say legitimate. Yeah.
Definitely legitimate. Definitely
Yeah.
legitimate.
We've had some success with it. Like like sometimes OA, you can just, you guys know this, like you can just hit a home run, just like a freaking just crazy, and you can spend a lot of money doing that. 1 to 3 years. I have a nonprofit that I want to really get to at some point. And then I have other business ideas and things I want to open with different people, like friends and whatnot. I'd like to be doing Amazon OA to prep. I'd like my time to be part-time doing it, and I'd like to have a purchaser that's really focused on doing a good job at that. I'd like to be doing 2, maybe 3 million a year. I don't really want to be a 50 million a year operation. That's not really in my heart. Like I'd like to be 2 or 3. I think would really take care of my family and provide enough meat on the bone to have good employees and turn a solid profit, and then be able to focus my time on the family or like I said, other businesses.
Yeah, but the Amazon's the cash cow that's gonna fund all that. I like
Exactly. Yeah.
So
And credit card points, Rakuten, all those things really
Oh, adds up.
credit card
Yeah.
points are amazing.
they're amazing. It's just crazy. It's just like, hey, we will pay you money if you'll just slide our card instead of a debit card.
Yeah.
By the way, if you don't pay us back in 30 days, we own your soul. So like that.
Yeah. But this is as long as you're paying them back on time. It's very important.
That's important.
So
Do you ever see your kids getting more involved with the business?
I don't want to pressure them into anything. Like I want them to be able to just be kids, and if they're attracted to it, I'd love to. I'd love to have them, but I wouldn't say I'm really grooming them for anything like that. Like I just want them to be kids. That's a weird word. I shouldn't have said that. That was a weird word.
Grooming little minions.
Oh, I'm so sorry. But
follow the rules, Cody.
Yeah,
my
true.
computer, my B. But I want them to be able to just be kids and choose whatever.
So for lack of a better word, you're more so trying to automate the process of what you have going on right now, trying to be more hands off. I know what I'm saying.
The way
You couldn't come up with a better word, really? That was the best.
So you're trying to be more hands off with the process and just kind of maybe focus on other things, other businesses. You said any ideas you'd wish to share with the audience? Maybe got fresh business idea for someone.
Yeah, I'm thinking about a trucking company. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, jump in. Jump in.
No, so I've got a couple ideas. I have an idea for private label that I've done a good amount of research on.
Oh, nice.
Oh, wow. I know Garrett's been talking about that. I've been talking about that. I think Miles as well. That's something we're all interested in. It's a scary world, but it's
But if you can piecemeal it, like if you're already doing Amazon and you can kind of sidestep into it, like I think there's that takes away a lot of the risk that other people have.
I think that's the advantage we all have, and I think any Amazon sellers that are doing RA or OA is you already know the Amazon knowledge of selling on the platform. You understand the Keepa and everything. So I think that's definitely an advantage people have instead of going from no knowledge in Amazon straight to private label, as opposed to what we're doing going to private label.
Is that like a 22
totally.
thing, or is that like farther out than that?
Yeah, I think 1 to 2 years is so short, and I think that a lot of people don't realize how short a time frame that is. So for me, like if I can, just hit what's in my head, I'd like to double my profits, and I'd like to scale back my time from this crazy number that I'm not even gonna say out loud to maybe like 40 or 50 hours a week. If I could really pull that off, like I would be super happy. I think 5 or 10 years, I have no idea what's going to happen. I'm a Christian, and I believe that just from what I've felt and heard, like in prayer and like times I've spent, with that, like I feel like there's big stuff out there that I'm supposed to get to, and I don't know how I'm going to get there. I don't really know the 5 or 10 year plan that's like drawn out pretty like on my whiteboard.
Yeah.
But there are things in my heart that are just crazy dreams that I just kind of have faith. I have to have faith that I'll get there and actually be able to live in that. So
Yeah, and with whatever you wanted to go into, a lot of the skills, I think, or at least some of them, will translate from what you're doing right now, whether it's like just internet based in general, like pretty much everything's internet based, or the internet can help it a lot. Content that you're willing to pick up the camera and press record, 99.9% of people won't do that because they're afraid of what people say. You've already conquered
That's a good
that,
point, yeah.
all that, like
I don't know
you've
if I've
already
conquered it.
so well
I'm figuring it
no
out.
we can all agree, and Danny has never done it, so he doesn't know. The hardest part is just pressing record the first time.
Sure.
And just like it really
I'm
is.
like a shadow right now. I'm just in the background. I live in the social world through Miles. Miles connects me to people I need to be connected, which I'm very thankful for.
I don't know that everybody has to do the personal brand thing. Like,
no, everyone doesn't at
No,
all, and not
no.
everyone will, and that's why it's lucrative.
Yeah, I agree, and I think not everybody's gonna have the influence that comes from it either. If I think about like me putting out a story 2 years ago, there's like 37 people, and like 34 of them didn't give a crap about now like what it's kind of turned into is like I'm like able to really help people. Like if I put out content, like I can actually create
and it feels good. Yeah, you get numb to it, but when you think about the amount of people, you answering questions in the DMs, like none of that stuff existed like 15 years ago. You know what I mean? Like you couldn't just get help the way you can
5
today.
years ago.
Yeah, it was way different. Yeah, and you think like it's very second nature for like us to just answer questions from like honestly strangers that they just ask, like that's kind of just what we do. Like it feels good when you kind of think about it sometimes, but you really kind of get numb to it too.
Cody, is that your main motivation? And this could be for Miles too. I mean, really, what's the motivation behind the personal brand? Is it just the helping people? Is it?
I mean, I'm not gonna sit here. I'm not gonna sit here and say it's just like, but there's a lot of things, but it's kind of second nature at this point. But yeah, I mean, it's just a tool. It's a tool like anything else. You know what I mean? Like you put stuff out that you think will help people. It does, or sometimes it doesn't. Whatever, and good stuff comes back to you. So I kind of just see it as a tool.
Yeah. I would say my primary, like the first reason that I really decided that I wanted to put content out and like really like try to connect with the world was I think there's 3 to 5 people on the earth right now that I'm gonna build like $100 million businesses with potentially, and there's gonna be like a long-term trust with those people, and things are just gonna connect, and it's gonna make sense. And I don't think I'll meet them as fast, or that I'll meet them in the same, I think it speeds the process up of, forming new relationships with people, and in business, like that's huge, like that's like
everything. It's literally everything for me.
Like the life.
How long have you been putting out content?
Well, I don't know. I haven't done it. I don't know if I've done it well yet. But I've probably really been doing something with it since I started at our Bolo group, maybe a little before that. So I was actually going to be a fitness page.
Really? That's interesting.
Yeah, that was like that. I was doing CrossFit at the time, and I was like, I'm just gonna document this, like I look cool when I do a clean and jerk, and so I'm gonna, and then it kind of it turned more towards the financial when my side hustle took off, and And then that's where McCarson Method Reseller came, and then I later, changed it to.
Yes, I was gonna ask that. Yeah. Yeah, well, it kind of explained it. Yeah, and for those of you who want to follow Cody, we'll obviously touch on that at the end. But it's Cody_does_Amazon. Do you still have the NFT profile picture?
I do on Twitter, not
on Twitter. Gotcha.
Man.
On
on the gram.
Instagram. I got my butt kicked with an NFT project, and
Really?
I'm sore about it.
You got rugged or what?
Well, I got rugged on one, and then the other
we
one.
hate to see it.
Hate to see
it.
It was very sad.
Was it bad?
It was bad. I don't want to talk about it.
So are you off the NFT market now?
No, actually, no. I'm like a gambling addict. I'm
we still
Danny
creating
is
our
as
NFT?
well.
I'm in the group chat actually, Cody's NFT chat.
I didn't even know you were in there.
Yeah, you added me to because I think I put up a story asking what NFTs
what
I should buy,
NFTs?
like over a month ago.
And I told you VFriends, and VFriends is up like a crazy amount, like overall.
And I told you to invest in Bitcoin 2016, but not everyone listens. So
why didn't you tell me to invest in Bitcoin?
No, he actually did in high school. So I remember Danny talking about it, and me just not even listening, but like I heard a couple words which was like Bitcoin, Tron, that kind of thing. It's funny. But you were talking to another kid and I was in the room at the time. So yeah, 2016.
One of the things I tweeted was my crackhead cousin told me to invest in Bitcoin, and then some businessman in the community told me to do something else. I forget what it was. It was like, be careful who you listen to. I should have listened to that.
Yeah.
It's true. It's true.
All right, so I think we pretty much covered everything then, boys.
Yeah. Anything?
Yeah.
Cody, anything else you want to say to the audience?
You gotta give us the catchphrase.
Where can the people find you at? Give us all your socials.
Hold on, let me try to just like condense some value for some people, right? Because I know you guys have beginner followers. So if you are currently doing like 5 or 10K a month or less, like if you're at that, I don't want to say bottom tier, but like if you're not doing the crazy number these guys are doing, like don't get intimidated about that. Like just work on your own business. I would say you need ASAP, like as soon as possible, you need to get to the point where you have too many products to buy. So like if you're sitting around and you don't know what to buy, you're not doing it right at all. Like the chemistry of your whole business is wrong. If you're, if that's where you are. So like priority number one, get to a place where you have too many things to buy. And the way you do that is, network, join Bolo groups, join OA lead list, go to Walmart, scan 1,000 things, or pay somebody to go to Walmart and scan 1,000 things. Like that's like super duper important, and then, the other thing I would say is just like pure motivation stuff. Like just work harder than everybody else. Like just outwork everybody. I didn't say how many hours. I didn't say how many hours I'm working, but like I have this and then something else that, another project that I don't talk about. Like I'm working my face off, and that's the reason that I've been able to go from, the situation I was in 2 years ago to a better situation now, is just because I'm outworking, a lot of people. So I would say just like hustle your face off and don't be afraid to do that. Those are my 2 pieces of advice. The other piece of advice: find products that you can go vertical on or like go deep with.
I like that. I really like that's going to be a good clip, just as the next one was. I like that terminology though.
Yeah. Everybody's trying to go
like
and
catch crazy.
If you think like if you can find something that you can go deep on, you can schedule 100 RA family trips, or you can, like you can, you guys talk about replenishables. Like I have a friend who has like 6 to 10 items in their store and they're outselling me, and like that's amazing to me. That's a better business than mine, if you can figure that out. So like find stuff that you're not scared to go, go deep on. So
all right, cool. So where can the people find you?
At CODY'S Amazon on Instagram, and then at our Bolo group.
Yep. And if they have any questions about your store or anything, I assume they can hit you up. You've been very helpful for all of us. I'm sure that will be the same for them. All right, catchphrase. Let's hear
it. Work super hard. Enjoy your family. Go sell some crap on the internet, baby.
All right.
Yes, sir.
We will see you guys in the next one. Appreciate it.